Welcome to the second installment in our Ripehouse system video series. In this video we will discuss the importance of looking across the country for your next investment property and begin to describe how to do this with confidence, clarity and success. If you get this right, it is always an excellent time to buy. Getting this right is a key component to generating the 25% growth in the first year that a holistic approach to property investment can provide. Hi, I'm Jacob. I have been investing in property since the early 2000s and founded Ripehouse in 2011. After buying my first 2 properties in my local area, I moved to the big smoke and quickly lost my confidence. I turned my analysis paralysis into a tried and tested framework to work out why people live where they do and why they buy or rent property. This framework has evolved into what you see today. Ripehouse provides expert commentary, research reports and analysis tools. To hear a little more about my story, or if you have missed our introductory video, make sure to check out video 1 in this series. Remember what is possible with the Ripehouse investment system. 25% capital growth is our target in the first year. Now the chances that this will be achieved by looking next door or even in your local area is unlikely. As I am sure you're aware, property moves in cycles. Major capitals may move in 6 to 8 year cycles with distinct boom and slowdown phases. Smaller capitals, satellite cities or key regionals may move in 8, 10 or even 15 year cycles. The chances that you will achieve top national growth at any point in time in your local area is extremely small. You really have to fluke it. The funny thing is that the vast majority of investors just invest locally. They are at the ransom of their local area. Do not join the majority. Let's break free. To do this, we need to look further afield. We need to gain comfort in investing across the entire country. Our expert commentary, research reports and analysis tools are all designed to help you do this, to gain this confidence. Let's dive into how we do this. Here at Ripehouse, we refer to looking across the nation for your next investment as increasing your catchment area of interest. It is the first critical component that we need to remember when looking for our next investment property. We want to be in the top 1% of investors who own multiple properties and actually achieve their lifestyle and retirement dreams. But, and this is a big but, there is no point opening up your catchment area of interest if it blows out your research time. If it takes 6 months to gather information and research, then we have missed the boat. Remember, the optimum buying window is usually very small. We want to use the masses, not invest with them. We must challenge how we research property and where we source our information. Some red flags that I look out for are quarterly results or reports, biannual reviews, generalized observations and third-party research. If a research report is generated quarterly, then it is potentially out of date upon release. If a news article is based on last year's data, then it can cause more harm than good. At Ripehouse, we update our data daily. In fact, it never stops. We must challenge how things are done. You can see on each analysis page within the Ripehouse platform when the data required for that page was completely refreshed. Always within the last 24 hours. Why is this important? A key reason is that we cannot afford to accumulate opportunity cost. We don't want to jump the gun. Every day that we hold an asset that does not grow, we accumulate opportunity cost. We could have used our funds, resources to have purchased another asset that is growing. Buying the right asset at the right time, in the right location, for the right amount is the key to reducing opportunity cost. The Ripehouse commentary, reports and analysis tools are designed to make this happen each and every day, month or year, whenever you are looking to purchase next. I'm sorry if I've just confused, bewildered, or even caused concern. This is a critically important concept. This graph here demonstrates a market, a city or a local government area, and how it might move through a cycle. You can see it has a long period of no growth, a dormant market. In this time, the local economy is trying to find cohesion or alignment. Once the area has had a chance to work itself out, and we see this time and time again, the local government area starts to work together. The same factors. We know these signals, we track them in real time. We have no time lag, updating our data sets daily. We call this period when the stars are aligning, the buying window. This is the period when the 1% of investors are buying. You are able to negotiate very well and position yourself just before the growth phase. You can see in the green the growth phases when we are making hay. This is a great time for return on investment, not for buying. Typically, growth brings heat. And from video 1 in this series, we want to beat the heat. You can see if we are buying way back in the no growth period, you have to hold the property without achieving any growth. You are losing out on opportunity when this occurs. The opportunity of growth in an alternative asset that you may have purchased in the buying window. Increasing your catchment area of interest plus live commentary, research reports and analysis tools are critical to lowering the risk of buying in the low growth period, accumulating opportunity cost, or worse, being caught up in a heated market and overpaying for a property. We now begin our first research question: which state? A common measure used when comparing states is our trusted property clock. Property clocks, in simple terms, look at basic market signals to determine where that market might be in a property cycle. We go into much more detail about how we construct our property clocks in subsequent videos, but for now, I will just guide you through the different stages of the clock and how we can interpret the information we gather. At 12 o'clock, the market's at its peak. It then moves through a slowdown phase towards 3. This is when the heat is really coming out of a market. The market then experiences a distinct confused state, entering a trough and arriving at 6. Things begin to then turn a corner. The stars align through a market recovery, entering a recovery phase as it nears 9. Between 9 and 12, we call this the growth phase. This is generally a heated and frantic period fueled by less sophisticated investors and mass media. To roughly equate, a Ripehouse buying window is generally between 7 and 10, but we like to get a lot more specific. Property clocks provide a general heartbeat, especially at a state level. You can see in the example graphic here that the property clocks for each state can be pulling in different directions at the same time. Why don't we jump quickly into the Ripehouse analysis tools to demonstrate how we can analyse state level signals in real time. Okay, here we are on the Ripehouse homepage. I'm going to scroll up to the login button in the top right hand corner, enter in email and password, and then click login. Now you are taken to your main account dashboard. We have analysis tools on the left, expert commentary in the middle, and research reports on the right. You are able to also navigate to each of our individual analysis tools via this quick top navigation menu. If you scroll down a little bit further, you see the Ripehouse news feed and blog, your account information, your suburb list, and your product list. You can then click on, for the purposes of this demonstration, the State Property Clock Analysis tool. This is going to take us to a page that was updated 13 hours ago. So once again, we update multiple times per day. If you ever have any questions about what a metric means or what information is provided, you can hover over the information buttons on a lot of our individual elements within the site. So this is a state level live property clock. You can see Tasmania is in the recovery phase, Victoria and Queensland in the recovery/growth phase, ACT and New South Wales in the growth phase. We'll look into what that means in a moment and how we can use this information. Scrolling down, we can see last 90 days state growth levels. Tasmania there at 2%, New South Wales minus 1% as a state. And then we see key state analysis. This is a table containing quick look state level signals for your reference. Can you see a problem? I can. A state app is made of many different regions. Each of those may have very distinct population types, sources of employment, policy, the list goes on. Take Queensland for example. Far north may be in a slowdown, whilst mid-coastal is booming via a tourism uplift. Whilst there is a mining slowdown in central and an overheated market in Brisbane proper. A state property clock is too general in nature. It is only an average of all of the regions within the state. A state observation at 4 o'clock on the property clock really does not provide much benefit, as it is an aggregate of its parts, a generalised signal. So where does this leave us? State versus state analysis is provided as part of the Ripehouse analysis tools for completeness. Whilst it does provide a very high level heartbeat, we must get much more specific in our national property search. Our research has demonstrated that local government areas are where we discover real meaning. And that, funnily enough, is the dedicated topic of the next video in this series. Here at Ripehouse, we provide expert commentary, research reports and analysis tools. Each has been designed to assist you to generate outstanding investment results, all with the Ripehouse system front of mind. We are by investors for investors. If you haven't already done so, why don't you take us for a free no obligation trial. We just need your basic details to get started. Head over to our homepage www.ripehouse.com.au for more details. Stay tuned for our next video, how to zoom in on the nation's prime local government area investment targets. Until then, happy investing.